Test, test. Okay, it's getting sound there.
Move this real quick.
No, I've got it.
You got it?
How about now? Do we have audio now? Now I need to adjust this down. Okay, perfect.
Well, for a quick recap of the first few minutes, I picked up this beautiful Hunger Games collection, and then I was telling Jordan about the collection. We were talking about that real quick. We talked about Battle of Songbirds and Snakes and what that's about, and then what Sunrise on the Reaping is about.
Yeah.
So now,
Now.
after we wasted 5 minutes because we were like, oh, we've been good on our sound and didn't do a sound check. Never doing that again. Okay, why don't you tell us what the Secret Chapter 1, the indie, is about?
Yeah, so thanks for letting us know, Kristen.
Yes, Kristen, thank you so much. Can't believe we did that.
Yeah, so this super secret chapter 1 is an interesting one. We've decided, I guess, really some backstory.
Yeah.
In our last full chapter, near the end, we had our first chatter, Kristen, and we were talking about Carmilla and the vampire books, and
As we do.
yeah, and Kristen let us know that she is a budding author, an indie, if you will.
Yeah. Ooh, hold on one second. Kristen, is she the pronouns you use? Want to make sure we get those right.
Yeah.
Don't want to mess that up. While we're waiting on that, you can please continue, sir.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Awesome.
So she was telling us about her, writings that she's been working on and has enjoyed writing, but really getting back into it.
Mm-hmm.
So she shared with us her, first, I guess it's a compilation of stories.
Yep, 3 short stories from the Queens of I don't have it.
Queens of Charm City.
Thank you. I don't have my notes open yet.
I guess, Kristen, go ahead and correct me, but you've written the pen name you're going with?
And while we're waiting on that, Charm City is the city nickname for Baltimore.
Yeah, we
Yes.
learned that from Kristen, yeah.
Yeah, and that was really cool.
But we're looking at, and I'll have this, in the Eve written perfect.
Okay, awesome.
I'll have a link to the Wattpad in our,
If we get the thumbs up.
yeah, to share it with everybody. I'm sure if Kristen's interested, we'll share that out so everybody else can see it. Yeah, so that's what we're here for today. I guess, Jeff, what do you first thoughts, initial?
Before we start, we're throwing out a disclaimer real quick. We are not authors ourselves. We have experience doing just in-house writing. I write our entire D&D
Yeah.
campaign. I've written that. We're not writers. We're just avid readers. We're not editors. So this is a first for us. Reading somebody's short stories and giving our thoughts and our input. We're gonna try very hard on the bits that we I don't think there was anything we disliked.
No, I think
It's just more some things we notice. Need
as
help here
readers.
and there. We're gonna try and be as, what's the word I'm looking for here? We're not gonna be jerks about this, okay?
we're all here to have a good time and not let everybody know what we think, and if we can help improve or even further someone's interest in something, that's what we want to do.
I think we need to get off of that because
Yeah.
for Kristen here is probably oh my god.
No.
So right out the gate, I personally absolutely loved the concepts of these stories. The not the energy, but the direction they went. And just like I was talking about when we were just reading the synopsis of each story, and I was like, ooh, that second one sounds really cool. Broken Moon was such a neat concept. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And it actually got me a jaw drop moment.
Yeah.
Like, realizing that Broken Moon and the Lost Emperor of Darkness were very connected. I was reading, I was like, oh, no fucking way. I literally was like,
spoilers. Good job. No, it's
sorry.
It's part of the.
We
Yeah.
are a book club podcast. It is, we need to, like, spoilers. No, you know, of course, with every bit of writing, there are some small problems. But that being said, the stories,
The characters.
at their core, everything I believe is really great.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved
Yes.
reading it. I really enjoyed the tie-in, like you're talking about. At the end of Broken Moon, hey there, Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. We are doing well. How are you? We're gonna have to get used to
Chat.
yes, yes, and it's gonna be
Finish a thought
It's
and
gonna be
then-
hard for me. Actually, that's what we need to do. Finish the thought, then engage
Yeah.
chat, because I will lose that thought so quickly.
Yeah, so what I was saying was that the story, like the setting, the characters are all really interesting and engaging.
You know what I think the thing that got me the most is at the end of Roman,
Yeah.
Miss Eve Written, why would you leave me on such a cliffhanger? Like, why would you do that to me? I'm like, but I need to know, like,
Yeah.
what's happening? That was such an insane cliffhanger to just leave it on. You're a professional artist? Nice! I can't draw. The only, like, good art I've done is our logo. I did the rough sketch of the logo, and then Jordan took it, threw it on a computer, and made it look pretty.
Yeah, we love engaging. Juju Digital.
Nice.
I like to consider myself a passable artist, but by no means am I an artist.
You're good for, like, small logos, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. While you're getting that set up, I did Kristen. Oh, hold on, sorry. I'm again my thoughts.
finish the one thought.
Finish the thought. While you're getting your artwork ready to pop into the chat, well, we will start our review. Yes. Oh no.
We don't have a Discord, but we can have a Discord.
Yes. So the connection of the stories I thought was really neat. I was the whole time I was reading Roman, the third one, I was like, cool, it's gonna connect somehow. How? And then I caught what date it was, and I was
Yeah.
like, there it is! It's all happening on the same day.
Yeah.
What a fucking wild day in Baltimore, huh? Baltimore's going through it on April 1st, 2033. Hey, never travel to Baltimore on April 1st, 2033.
Yeah.
Because you will be going, you might see some shit, for sure.
Yeah, I honestly, my favorite author, I talk about this a lot, but, you know, it is what it is. My favorite author is Sherilyn Kenyon. She wrote, here, do this. She wrote several series, but the one I'm talking about now is the Dark Hunter series. It's a 28 book series so far.
Oh, is that the one that...
It's a romance, like supernatural romance.
Oh, it's the one that comes from Chronicles of Nick.
Chronicles
right?
of Nick comes from it.
Oh, okay.
And each of the books follows a different character, but it's set in the same time, and I really enjoy it. So finding that each of the stories were intertwined was super exciting for me.
Y'all ever borrow, like, your friend's phone and have to start typing on it, but you're so used to your phone's keyboard? This is not fun.
That's because you have an iPhone, and I don't want to start a war in the comments, but iPhone sucks. Elizabeth, we're working on getting that Discord set up now because we didn't even consider that was a thing, but
Yeah, we are very new to what we're doing, so we are figuring it out as we go. Numbers, there we go. And
so we'll get you added on there as soon as we can. And once it's up,
do you want me to save this to your password manager?
yeah, totally.
Okay.
I don't really have to do that.
I guess we'll put in my birthday since it's already on the proper month.
And I guess if we're doing this, I don't know, we'll have to set up a
It should automatically.
server?
I got it.
Okay, he's the Discord expert.
I've made all of our Dungeons and Dragons servers and stuff like that. How?
I guess while we're waiting, Kristen, I guess if you're willing to share, what was the inspiration for, I guess, the initial story, right? That was I don't have my phone. He's got my phone, so I can't.
Do you have the? There we go.
The Last Emperor of Darkness is the first set of story, or this first story.
Yes, I did have that ready.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so
Overall, though, I was really dragged into the stories. What do I think? I think. We left off on a cliffhanger on the last Emperor of Darkness. Also,
everything did.
Yeah.
But it was Romans that was like the one that I was like, what is happening?
yeah.
Okay, I've got the base setup of the Discord.
Okay. We'll do
between
more.
now and next episode,
Wednesday,
which will be Wednesday, we'll jump in and fix up the Discord. Okay. Add. I got it. You keep talking.
Yeah.
I can look over.
Okay.
I'm deaf, not blind.
Fair enough. Elizabeth, what kind of art do you like to do most? I guess.
Alrighty. Just in case. Okay, yep, I figured that was gonna be the case. Me? Oh, you know what we could do?
No.
Open up your Discord on the computer, and you'll be able to just drop the Discord link straight into the chat, and they
Okay.
can straight just join the server.
Don't switch. I don't want to do any of that. And then log out somewhere.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do it this way.
I got it. I figured it out. Alright, I got it.
I added the BCP at the end.
Okay.
You want to move Discord over here so,
So
we
we
can
can-
see the chat?
You're so smart.
That was the whole reason I busted out my other monitor for this.
It just became that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the wanted to make a vampire a story and a werewolf story, and it just became that.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Kristen, and this is nothing on you, but I literally just had in our first or second episode talking like all of these stories that aren't just vampire stories or werewolf stories, it's always together. I just I don't want to say bitched about that, but I just ranted about that for a few minutes because I'm a huge horror person, but luckily, reading everything you wrote, you're going a bit different of a direction than. Do I need to type it in?
No, I got it.
Then what I see a lot of those the world is like the big war against vampires and werewolves, it seems like you are going a bit different than how that generally goes, and that made me happy.
Yeah, but also, there's a sort of
You need me, huh?
yeah, working on that now. There's sort of a tie-in between vampires and werewolves that don't exist in other, the other supernatural like creatures, right?
Do what? I'm sorry.
There's a kind of a tie-in between vampires and werewolves that aren't necessarily.
We are dropping the link to the Discord right now.
Yeah, there you go. And
Bang!
we can.
Look at me know how to do something you don't know how to do.
Yeah,
With
I
a
don't do
computer.
Discord.
With a computer. Come on.
And then once you join in, we can if you would prefer to have it as like a DM, we can do it that way too, and just add you.
I like the I don't need to get a life. I'm a gamer. I have lots of lives. I feel that deep down in my soul.
Yeah.
Especially playing Kazan right now, where it's just dying a lot.
I don't even know what that word means.
Kazan, it's the name of the character of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess while we're working on this, back to the story.
Click that button right there.
This one?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sweet. The Lord, the last Lord of Darkness.
Last Emperor of Darkness.
Sorry, Last Emperor of Darkness, you're right. Kind of follows a family almost. Mm-hmm. A found family, really, is what
Yes.
it is, which is always an interesting story.
I do like found families quite a bit.
Where there's humans and vampires, and there's kind of a lot of
Unlock your phone, please.
overlap. Here you go.
Home.
But it's a urban fiction kind of an urban fiction story set in Baltimore, following some of the characters.
It's fucking Eren Yeager. I'm a huge Attack on Titan fan, so if I see Eren Yeager, I'll know him anywhere. Stingy.
They go shopping, and again, we're a book club podcast. We're going to talk about books, and we're here specifically tonight to talk about Eve Ritten's Queens of Charm City, and so spoilers abound. But
Yes.
we are.
Elizabeth, these are cool as shit. I bust out my notes again. Finish your thought.
Yeah, we are. The cliffhanger we're left off on is to find out that the character James is.
I didn't think about when I was taking the notes to write down character names because I'm used to reading Carmilla right now.
And all of the characters are
we
ingrained
have
in
two
there.
characters that we really need to know the names of.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So James, the young vampire, gets kidnapped while they're out shopping, and we learn that he is basically heir to the vampire throne.
Okay. Before we continue, I am going to ask Kristen. Kristen, do you want to hear the enjoyed, did not enjoy in that order, or just kind of mixed together? Because I can tell you the did not enjoy isn't anything to do with the stories in particular. It's just other things mixed together. Okay, cool. I'm gonna start then with my first note for the Last Emperor of Darkness.
Okay.
The vampire timetable for like what ages they start like really coming into their own as
Yeah.
a vampire. I fucking loved that.
That was
That
really
was so cool.
And well,
Like they have this huge gap between like getting some of that like speed and strength,
and then
to the
healing and bloodthirst.
yeah, and then like boom, when you're a full on vampire, you're almost 30.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was neat because to me, because they talked about vampire hunters and monster hunters in the story. That makes the hunters, who I'm sure are villains,
Yeah.
so down with those guys.
Yeah.
It makes them have to think.
When
more.
is it morally acceptable, right?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think that's how they're going to be thinking. Because at this point, it's not morally acceptable to kill this 12-year-old. They're a vampire. I know it is morally acceptable. It's just they have to start trying to find them when they're younger, when they're not presenting as much, because it will be easier.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
I think it was an interesting take because generally vampires, they stop aging, right? They are set in stone in time. You see it in everything from what's the vampire Brad Pitt 90s or something.
Oh, Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, Interview with a Vampire, where
Yes.
the young vampire is actually thousands or hundreds of years old. It was Kirsten Dunst, I think.
Yeah, Kirsten Dunst played her in the original film. Oh yes, sorry, we just finished looking at that. The art was really cool. I enjoyed the anime. Like, finish my thought, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Finish my thought.
Yeah, Elizabeth. We'll
what was
definitely
her
reach
name?
out to you there.
Kirsten Dunst played her.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's one of my favorite vampire
Well,
films.
I
And
don't
I
know
can't
if
remember
the
her name.
character. Maybe it's Carmilla.
No, she's a very important character.
Yeah.
She's in the novel. She's in the film because
Okay.
she's super, super important.
Yeah, but the point I was making is that generally they're set in stone
Yes,
from the
like,
time
once
they
you
turn.
whereas these vampires, it seems like they're born.
Or not even, they can be turned.
Yes.
But they still age. And I thought that was definitely an interesting and unusual take, but in a way that's exploratory, right?
My assumption was that they age until they hit that 27, and then that's when it either stops or just slows down.
Yeah,
it's like
it's
slow aging.
It's more like a race or species rather than like
elves and shit. in
elves,
D&D.
yeah, exactly.
Like they
Elves.
still age, it's just really slow.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
Yeah, I agree.
I am gonna mix in
Some
a thing real quick. I think overall, all the stories. Sorry, I'm looking down at my phone. I took a decent amount of notes. Just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and add in more background context because sometimes it's a little hard to follow some transitions without that context. And maybe with our heroines, a little bit of inner monologue might go a very long way.
Yeah, some thoughts that they have in between.
And then this is the last bit of this. To make this better for you, Kristen, I have 3 things on my overall dislike is still not the right word, but that list.
Yeah.
It's only 3 things. So, and this is thing number 1, and this is the longest one. The conversations don't feel very natural to me.
Yeah.
But that is a plague that every single writer, even when I've written D&D stuff, it is a plague that hits all of us.
Yeah.
It's so hard to write a naturally flowing conversation by yourself.
Well, and I think, again, we talked about this briefly, but the hard part even isn't writing conversation, you know what people say to each other, right? The hardest part is, how to identify, it's really setting the scene of the conversation.
Yes.
Right? And I have done some, what do they call it? What is it called?
Your English class?
Well, yeah, in the English class, I did, creative writing.
I was like, if you're trying to think of the phrase creative writing right now, I have a fucking problem.
I'm done.
We are dumb.
It was every episode.
Didn't your mom tell me to stop being stupid?
Stop being stupid. Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
So I took I was doing some creative writing, not because of a class, but because I like to write and I would like to be better at it.
Yep.
And I sought some criticism and feedback from family members, and their biggest complaint was that the dialogue was weird. It didn't feel right.
Because it's hard to get the dialogue in a novel when you're first starting out, or in a story or short stories, whatever you are writing, it's hard to get it to feel natural and to flow like an actual conversation. It's hard.
And my hardest part is you learn how to write a specific way in school, right? Like grade school and things. It's like I said, she said, who said, we said, right?
So and school is not for writers.
Yeah, and that doesn't translate well to like longer.
Oh, I need your phone. I'm sorry. Elizabeth popped in and said text there.
It doesn't translate well if when I, like, in my case it was like that. It was like I said, we exclaimed, things like that, right? And
I think I accidentally just deleted the whole message.
Oh no.
Discord. What am I doing?
And so what I did, because I was taking a creative writing class.
Oh, it's because we didn't accept the message. We just looked at the pictures.
Oh. What I did was I was taking a writing class in college, and I went to the professor and I said, "Hey, listen, I got some feedback that my dialogue, it sucks." That's what I'm a existentialist, so if I don't get good praise, it's always the worst thing ever, right?
Yep.
So I went and I was like, I got feedback, it sucks, I want to get better, help me get better. And the professor pointed me towards a playwright. Obviously it's classical, and I'm going to share that with you, Kristen, just because I think there's value in sharing the resources that we learn over time.
Oh, more present.
But I need my phone to do that, so just bear with me.
I'm sorry. Are these like the overlay things like you're talking about?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like those.
Let me borrow that for a second.
Hold on.
Okay. But anyways, what I'm saying is I'm going to share with you a writer who I think does it really well, and my professor recommended kind of using as a study case in a way that is effective in improving.
I will also get it set up on my phone so I can easily do that.
Okay.
While he's looking that up, still in The Last Emperor of Darkness. This is not a like or a dislike. This is just a statement of, and I'm sure it's because I'm a man, to be perfectly honest. The 27 spoon body confused the absolute fuck out of me, so I had to Google it, which is the easy thing to do, and I was like, oh, it's because it's this body type, and they're 27 years old.
Yeah.
I was very confused, but again, I'm pretty sure that's not a Kristen. That is a Jeffrey's a man.
Yeah,
and just doesn't know shit.
Right. I didn't like some body types, right?
Yeah. Well,
and
I'd never heard of like a spoon body because like the examples I saw were like
hair.
Selma Hayek and stuff, and I was like, oh, like that's like an hourglass figure. Like that's what I've always thought of, like an hourglass figure.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, agreed. I had a similar problem.
Which means we did one of our favorite things. We fucking learned something new.
Yep.
And damn, do I love learning new shit.
Honestly, it's my favorite thing.
It really is. I love learning things. Oh, and because I was already talking about the cliffhanger for Roman, I do have the note here for The Last Emperor of Darkness. I absolutely fucking loved that cliffhanger in Last Emperor of Darkness. Like, what do you fucking mean James got kidnapped? What were y'all doing? Not flirting. I know they didn't say not flirting, but I definitely said that part in my head.
Right.
Like, not flirting?
No.
Like, holy crap. Kristen, you are knocking the ball out of the park with the cliffhangers. Like, that's the type of thing that when I'm reading a novel and I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna finish this chapter and go to bed. And I finish the chapter, I'm like, well, guess I'm gonna keep reading because the cliffhanger, I gotta keep going. Yeah, no. The things I said for like my big One Piece of the 3 notes I had, those are the things for The Last Emperor of Darkness that would really help take that a long way. And trying your best is what we all always should do, and you are doing a great job. Because like you said, on Monday, you're a burgeoning.
Yeah, burgeoning.
A burgeoning author, like we all gotta learn. Like I have an idea for a novel, and one day I gotta sit down and I gotta start writing, and I'm gonna fall into the same pitfalls. I actually have, a draft from a book I tried to write in 2009, my werewolf story actually, and I'm sure that if I pull up the dialogue on that, I was in Iraq.
I also started writing a werewolf story while I was deployed.
I think I did pick it back up in 2012 when I was in Afghanistan. But I'm sure if I pulled up that document right now and started reading through like the dialogue, I would be like, ooh,
Yeah.
let me fix this.
Yeah, same. And I'll say this on a positive note. And I told Jeff this before we started recording today. The writing and the dialogue did get progressively better.
Yes, it did.
Through the stories.
Yes.
So I'm not sure if it's feedback you've heard before, or if you recognize it yourself, but we can definitely tell that through the writing of the stories you have progressed, and I love to see it. So,
Which will actually bring me into my point number 2 out of my 3.
okay.
Part of this could be Wattpad itself, but like the structure of the sentences, how they're like oddly. Like is not a word I think I'm going to use here, because I definitely more than liked these.
Yeah.
Like I want to read more. Like I can't say I love them yet because I don't have a conclusion.
Yeah.
And generally conclusions is where I decide if I love something or not.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed reading what's there already.
Yes.
Yeah.
But punctuation. No, that's not right, because punctuation is just capitalizing, right? No, punctuation is all of it. Yeah.
Grammar.
Yes.
Punctuation is just the periods, exclamation.
No. So I was right. Punctuation and sentence structure need a little refresher, and that's the other thing I'm enjoying about this is most of my things, my 3 major points, it's not like overhauls, which is awesome. It's just like freshening up.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna be easy, but it's not gonna be hard. No, like so far.
And I think
Yeah.
I think some of the things are cultural, because at the top of the page we got hashtag Black Women, new author.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you're right, because
So some of it is that.
we're two white dudes from the South.
Yeah.
Reading what I'm assuming is a black woman's story from Baltimore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is true. But again, I think the sentence structure thing is Wattpad.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it is,
And,
because it had like weird, like people wouldn't like have breaks
Oh,
in
yeah, the
between
breaks.
sentences.
Yeah.
Weirdly, the way it was.
Yeah, I've never tried publishing with Wattpad, but I know a lot of those
You
services
know what I might
do.
do? I might pull up Wattpad and just fuck around with it and see.
Yeah, a lot of those
Just
places do
sake of
have
curiosity.
weird like page breaks, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I think the sentence structure thing is my big assumption is that it's a Wattpad issue.
I'd ask, and just out of interest, where do you draft at, Kristen? Like, is it in like a Word, like
Like
Microsoft
Word,
Google Docs,
or do you just do it straight up on Wattpad? See, now I really do have to fuck with Wattpad.
Yeah.
And like
in Word?
okay. I haven't used Word in.
Yeah, I don't use Word anymore because Google Docs is free.
Yep, and it's just as good.
Yeah. What I'll say is, there's.
Sorry, I have like a really intense like itch on my eyebrow. I don't like that.
There's different, grammar and like Word tools between Google Docs and Microsoft Word. Mm-hmm. But also, for work, we use Grammarly a lot to help with.
Oh yeah, I actually have the free version of Grammarly, and it is phenomenal.
It can be good. I don't like it because it tries sometimes to force a certain type of sentence structure.
Yes, but luckily it's very easy on like if you have Grammarly installed
Just
to ignore.
Yeah.
Grammarly does like as much as it does help. It also is like, bro, like no, sometimes I know what the fuck I'm doing, man.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I understand this isn't spelled correctly because the person speaks with an accent.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Get off my groove, Grammarly.
Yeah, and honestly, one thing, and maybe this was just when I was reading it, that I missed, was the kind of, I wanted to know, like, and this may be something that's coming, and I like,
Yeah.
you know, so I don't want to, like, I felt myself wanting to know kind of
What
story
happened
in the one we're still talking about, the Last Lord, or
the Last Emperor of Darkness.
Yeah. In the beginning, like, what happened with the accident? Like, how did it begin?
Yes.
How did it conclude?
So that's what happened with the accident, and what her brother did to cause that revenge. I think, the way I viewed that
As something
as
to
a
come.
reader, like, that's something that we're going to learn about as these two start getting closer and they
Yeah.
start talking more.
yeah, and I'm also
they're
impatient.
very like at odds.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's giving like light enemies to lovers,
yeah. I would,
or enemies to lovers light. I'm
Right.
sorry.
I get what you mean.
See, I just harped on sentence structure and just fucked up sentence structure out loud via word.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%. Bunch of goofy goobers over here.
So I guess to sum it all up, I really enjoy the story. Even just the first part, the Last Emperor of Darkness.
Yes, you got it without me having to tell you.
I did. That happened. The reason why I say Lord all the time is because of Lord Lost fought by Darren Shan, and we had Lord Kurnow tonight, and I was all jacked up.
Listen, I don't know why you guys don't like that character.
We're just
That was a
giving
great
him shit.
NPC, and you guys hate him so much.
Yeah, we're
I
just
put
giving
so
him
much
shit.
work into that guy.
Like, look, we give you shit too. Maybe we're giving him shit to give you shit.
No, because you guys are just mean to me. But I'm mean to you specifically back. So
Broken Moon.
yes,
This one caught my attention more.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like very quickly, because she gets into an elevator, the janitor comes in, she tries to be nice, he's like, "Arr," and then all of a sudden he just goes, "Hey, yeah, something bad's about to happen." She's like, "What?" Boom! And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh fuck, what's going on?"
That was loud.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about having the microphone right in front of me. Just so you guys are aware, that's the top of the microphone, and that was not smart on my part, huh?
That's okay.
Hey, at least I rhymed.
Yeah. I think the suddenness of all of the stories really drives the story
the
forward.
suddenness. I'm gonna say part of my third point real quick.
Okay.
I wanted to save it for Roman because I have I have an example from Roman,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll save that example for when we talk about Roman.
Okay.
I think especially the whole elevator scene, there was some in there, but I think more descriptors would go a long way, like small descriptors. Like the most we had was when he was climbing the elevator cable, and she talked about like the wind moving past them and how it felt, and like I'm trying to remember the exact verbiage, but like sometimes because when they were banging on the door, it was just bang, bang. That could have been like it sounded like a train smashing into a car. Like really put it in my brain.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Like the bangs were good because they were so like interspersed with everything that was being said and thought.
Yeah. And interruptive.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like just the word bang works for a script. Because then, in a script, it's like, boom, the bang noise.
Yeah.
But in a novel, like, if you're like,
And it would be
force.
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying. Just the one time, even because now you're saying bang, you're explaining it, and now we have a picture of every time.
yeah,
the bang.
every time the bang happens after that first descriptive
Yeah.
bang, it's already there. How forceful
Yeah,
and
I
animalistic
understand.
and visceral this banging is.
Yeah.
Broken Moon's my favorite one, by the way.
It was so good.
100% my favorite one.
I think this is not a criticism in any way.
Yeah, and I want to make this clear. I tried to do it.
Yeah,
At the beginning, I
don't-
messed up. These are definitely not criticisms. These are just our thoughts on what could elevate it.
Yeah, well, this is just me talking right now.
Which you do a lot.
I thought it was interesting in Broken Moon and in Roman, like I said, the suddenness of it.
Yeah.
The ease in which the heroines kind of fall into the rhythm, right? And that's not to say that there's anything wrong with that, right? Because there's not. Maybe
I actually kind of enjoyed it.
yeah, I thought it was interesting. I thought that it was fresh, right? There wasn't, because like oftentimes in novels and in even like visual media like movies and things like that, it's like they're arguing and arguing and it's like, listen, if you don't stop arguing with me now, like we're all gonna die. And
I feel like in both Broken Moon and Roman, those arguments are to come, but both those women are like,
I'm gonna die.
yeah, I'm not this fucking stupid. I'm gonna listen and live so I can be like, yo, you tell me everything now.
Yeah.
Later.
We saw that in Broken Moon in
Yeah.
like basically I think the second chapter. Maybe the third.
Yes.
Where
I
she
feel like she's gonna really lay into him later, though. And
Yeah.
be like, no. You told me the basics of what's
Yeah.
going on. I need the details now. If
Yeah,
you don't give
because-
them to me, I'm gonna hurt you.
Yeah, because like there was kind of a combination of like you see it in different types of media where like there's two types of female characters that you generally see. It's like one is I'm going with you immediately, no questions asked. So, like I'm just gonna do what you say.
Yep.
And then the other one is I'm gonna argue until I almost die, and then maybe I'll listen to you.
And one
this
of those
was-
two is much more annoying than the other.
Yeah.
And it's the second. It's the latter.
And in this case, we kind of had a little bit of both, right? There was some hesitancy, and I was like, well, if I stay here now, I'm probably going to die.
I did like how it was a nice mixture of the two.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed that. It was refreshing. It was fresh. And fresh is generally...
Yeah. I assume that's right.
This is only... There's no way that's hit me yet. That can't be right. And I only had one beer. And they're only 4%. And I'm only halfway done with this, so that's...
Well, I don't know.
Maybe it is hitting a little bit. Maybe the chili
Chili cheese
corn dogs and the THC are having a fun mix in my body.
Yeah, generally.
Which, by the way, if you guys have never done that thing that I think is maybe going viral on TikTok now, where you split a corn dog and you fill it with chili and cheese, like a chili cheese hot dog, recommend that.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly recommend that. That made me... I had 2, and I was like, I should have made myself like 4. They were so good.
You were saying generally.
I meant to say
the mix.
genuinely.
Okay, genuinely.
Yeah.
Something fresh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, actually, I did mean generally.
Okay.
Generally, that level of freshness is a really good thing. It's very rare that when you bring in something fresh and new, it doesn't work. And I have a great example of this.
Okay.
Twilight.
Twilight. I don't think that's fair.
I do.
Because while I may not like Twilight as much as I like other stories, there was nothing wrong with the way it was done, right? It was fresh, it was new, and it was different, and it got a huge following.
Listen, we're all human beings with opinions. Some opinions are stronger than others. Me, personally, I don't think I'll ever miss a chance to drag Stephenie Meyer. Ever. Ever.
I was speaking objectively about the books because I don't know whatever you're talking about.
Well, all of my reasons for dragging Stephenie Meyer are the books. I read them when they were first coming out when I was much younger, and then I reread them, and I'm like, wow, these are horrible. They're just not good. But again, that's my opinion.
Well, they're YA books.
Yes, and I love YA books because they're fun. These were not fun. Edward is abusive as shit at all turns. Yet he's like the ultimate love, but he's hella abusive at all times. And listen, ladies, If a man treats you like Edward Cullen, ditch the man.
I'll tell you what, I wasn't going to read Twilight, and then, until somebody said,
Oh yes, actually I did, because I had to look. First of all, how to pronounce, is it Coxie? Like, I had to look that up because my very first note was that, and I was like, real or not? And then I was like, I can just look this up while I'm reading. I was like, oh shit, that is a fucking real place. I 100% loved, and that every real place that you named, you bolded. Mm-hmm. I did like that. And
Yeah.
it brings me back to what I was talking about on Monday with the Dresden Files being in Chicago. They do the same thing where they don't bold it because, you know, it's a novel now. It's not just
Yeah.
like the short stories and stuff, but like they use all real locations,
yeah,
which isn't done, in my opinion, enough
No,
in novels.
it's not.
So I 100% loved, because then, like, you know, if you publish these and they blow up and they go huge, people can go to fucking Baltimore
And
because
see
of
it.
these books and go to these locations.
yeah. I'll rewind back to what I said, or the series I saw earlier,
Mm-hmm.
the Dark Hunters and the Chronicles of Nick. They take place in New Orleans generally, not exclusively.
Yeah.
And all of the places are real places. Like, all of the streets are real streets.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one, I guess, locale
Okay.
that is not real. It's a biker bar called Sanctuary. And,
I mean, that doesn't really count.
and well, no, but the place, like the building where it exists, or where it's at in the book, exists in real life.
Oh,
It's just, yeah, it's just not called the Sanctuary Bar.
See, that's actually really neat, like incorporating real architecture for your fictional, like, bars
Yeah.
or clubs or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
something I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, so all that to say that I really enjoyed that you included the real existing places, because to go as far as, like, I was enjoying hearing about the hotel in Roman,
Which is also in
Baltimore.
Coxie. I don't know how to pronounce that word. I looked it up to see if it was real, but I didn't look up the pronunciation. Look at me go. But yeah, that was in the same Coxie place. Which
I don't know. I'm trying to look at it, and it's asking me to sign up with Google.
I didn't have to do that. I read it on my computer.
Yeah, it wasn't making me do that, and now it is. So I'm just gonna look at it real quick. It's in Baltimore City,
Yeah, and I'm assuming the Coxie place is like a
like a borough type
yeah,
of
like
thing.
a borough type thing. I was gonna say suburb, but that was
Suburb, yeah,
Yeah, because that's how I viewed it.
yeah.
Because, you know, like in New York, you know, you got all the boroughs in New York City. I assume that Coxie is just a borough, or a borough-esque thing in Baltimore City.
Yeah.
I did enjoy in Broken Moon being on the rooftops. That's a place I would have put some descriptors in. Like, describe that city skyline from that rooftop. That would have been great. And it's a perfect plug to, you know, talk about the city you love. Because, I mean, you got to clearly love Baltimore City. You're writing books and setting them there. That's what I would do if I love my
Yeah.
city that much. You know, I'd put all my stories in the city. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. No, oh shit.
You lost your thing.
No, I just let my phone time out, so I had to re-unlock it. No, so yeah, Broken Moon is the one where my big note here is I love the connection to the first story without any warning.
Yeah.
Like that was I think the zero warning that they're connected is what made my jaw literally drop when I was reading it.
Yeah, and I also enjoyed that it's listed as like a collection of short stories, and then they cross over like.
Hella crossover. I love that. Like I like suspense. I like surprises.
Yeah.
And I like surprises when they're done well. Having Broken Moon and The Last Emperor of Darkness completely connected was a very well done surprise.
Yeah.
Like 10 out of 10 on that for sure.
Agreed.
And it's tough to make my jaw drop. And it did. So I was hella happy about that. Oh, absolutely. Like we said on Monday, we're going to read these and we're going to be honest about it. Mm-hmm. I am just very thankful that we actually really enjoyed them. Because
Yeah.
I'm not sure how we'd be doing this right now had we not.
Yeah, honestly, I would have.
I would have probably read them probably two more times and like looking for specific things I enjoyed so I could talk about it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you wrote them first of all,
Yes.
and then
Why did I
shared
fucking think to say that part?
and then shared them with us, and you know are willing to hear us talk about it. I mean, we as readers love to read every different kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I read a lot of different types of books.
Horror, suspense, action, adventure. We read everything from classical with Carmilla.
Oh, my friend finished Carmilla.
Oh, he just was like, screw you guys.
Because
I'll go
I think
home.
he listens on Apple,
Yeah.
and we got to get that fixed. But he was like, oh, buddy. He had some things to say.
Oh, no.
No, not bad things.
Oh, yeah. I'm
like,
sure.
mostly about Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, the Hunger Games. But also we read Japanese light novels sometimes, and manga, and manhwa, and...
Is the light novel for Solo Leveling Japanese?
Well, it was yes. So...
Because the mom was Korean.
Interesting.
It's a Korean story.
Yeah. So what happened? the story behind that. It was originally written as a webtoon,
Yep.
and then
That's what we read. I need to sit back. I'm being a little loud tonight.
And then it was
I don't know why I'm being so loud.
it was interpreted into a light novel, and I am pretty certain it's Japanese because they label it as a light novel and not as like a different type of novelization. So
Okay. I must be in a good mood tonight. I'm being this loud. Usually I'm only like loud like that when I'm
well,
in a good mood.
yeah, but also I think we didn't drive tonight, right? So
Yeah. So usually with our episodes, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons at a friend's house, and we have to drive back to my place
Get set
and
up.
get set up. The second book.
I think they're set as a collection of short stories that are intertwined, and then the second book is going to be similarly set with. I mean, don't tell me or you know I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but my interpretation is that it's like a continuation of each of the stories as a second book, which is.
By chance, are you gonna let us read that? Because I would definitely like to. Like, yes. Oh wait, was that the yep to him or me? I don't know.
Yep to me, probably. But you know what? Yep to you too, I'm sure. as long as she still likes us.
I think we're doing good. I have one more note, and I've already said like the first part of it, and so now it's just like an idea of how to do that.
Yeah.
Like-
Okay. Let's hear it.
Well, no, it's we have to
Roman.
talk about Roman
Okay. Easy.
when we do that.
Easy.
Ooh, actually, in Broken Moon, I would have done a little bit more description of what the werewolf looked like.
Oh, it's coming.
But one thing that I never would have thought to do is how you did talking about their tongues. Like the way the tongue was like hanging out and like moving in a weird
Yeah.
way. Love that.
Yeah.
That hit the creepy button right there, which is what you want when you're dealing with monsters. You
Yeah.
want to hit the creepy button.
At least a little bit, right?
Yeah, and that did. Like I was like, oh, I like that a lot.
But also Broken Moon, I really like that. And I wish we had written down the characters' names, but like you said, like
Yeah, I didn't even think about it, to be honest. And the only reason I said the I would have done more description of werewolf things, werewolf media is about my favorite monster media. Like I think the closest thing is body horror, like Frankenstein. Like I love vampire media, but werewolves are like my monster love. I love werewolves, and anytime I watch a new werewolf movie, I am extremely critical of how the werewolves look.
I remembered without finding it, Luna, because I was thinking like it's apropos, right? Luna.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that Luna was like, okay, I'm awake now. We're not being chased by creatures, and here's a knife. What are you trying to do to me, right?
Oh yeah, like Luna's like cool. And that's what I was talking about, like that nice mix of I'm gonna listen, but I'm gonna get my answers. She went to get her answers by whipping out a knife. Like if you don't start answering questions, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
I did like that, and I liked that she talked about digging in her purse and pulling out her small little pink handled knife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just drive it home, and that was great. Because it would have been boring, like, and Luna reached into her purse and pulled out, a folding knife or her pocket knife. Like, no, give me that description. Like, really, because that helps set up what kind of woman Luna is and what Luna enjoys.
Yeah.
Because, like, my wife wouldn't carry around pink pepper spray or, like, a pink knife. It'd be, like...
more tactical in nature.
Yeah, like darker in color, because she's not a pink girl.
Yeah.
I would be more apt to carry a pink knife than she would, but that's because I like pink as a color.
Yeah, so all around, Broken Moon, really solid. And again, like the dialogue had progressed, the story setting had progressed. Roman, I like when things happen that are unexpected.
Yes.
Picking up a dusty book and a person falls out.
Yeah.
Unexpected. I was not expecting it.
Okay. Because, my love of horror and all things horror. She opened up that drawer, saw that dusty ass book that clearly shouldn't be there. I was like, girl, don't touch that fucking book.
Yeah, cursed.
Don't touch that book. Why are you... Don't open it now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a full horror movie. Like, what are you doing on that?
Yeah.
Which I loved.
And then reading it and knowing it's an adult fiction novel, my first thought was like, this is the one story that's a little bit different, and this is gonna focus on like the romance of it, and it's like some romance dude falls out like of the book.
Definitely was not that.
See, it wasn't that at all.
100% not that.
No.
Yes, and you're right. That was another nice little surprise. That it wasn't what everybody assumes it would be.
Yeah.
Like, he's reluctant as fuck about everything with her. Because he's like, and here we go again.
Yeah. You know what? He's been isekai'd to this world for the third time.
Actually, there is a question I have about that. Because before he said he's been brought into America 3 times, I thought he had said he'd only been brought into the world twice.
Well, 4 now.
Oh, so I misread it. When he said 3 times, he was counting right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a me thing then.
Yeah.
Boom. On this whole thing, the concept of the keys, and it's like a game?
Yeah.
It's a game? What do you mean? I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean this is a game that some random person has to play, whether they want to or not?
Yeah.
It gave me Surviving the Game.
Yeah.
That's the one with the island, right? Yeah. Yes. Where those fucking rich dudes, those like 4 or 5 rich white dudes, go pay a homeless guy, and they're like, oh, we're gonna make your life better, and they take him to the private island to hunt him.
Oh, is it called Surviving the Game?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Because that just sounds like the most dangerous game.
It might be the most dangerous game with Ice Cube.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It reminded me of.
It is Surviving the Game, 1994. It's Ice-T, Rutger Hauer, Gary Busey, Charles S. Dutton, F. Murray Abraham, John C. McGinley. Like, that's stacked cast.
Yeah, I just got caught up on reading a webtoon called Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Really solid. You should check it out.
What kind of anime-ass title is that?
It's
the time I got reincarnated as a T-Rex, but I'm the size of a leaf, and now I have to hunt the most dangerous animal in the world.
It all makes sense if you read it.
You know what's bad? That literally would work as an anime title.
No, it's a little too long.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
But Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, they get sucked into like a book that the main character has read, and
Okay.
the
Oh, that's why he's the omniscient reader, because he knows the story.
he knows the story, right?
What's the best isekai ever done?
Ever done?
Yeah. And there was actually a correct answer to this. And I'm gonna be mad if you don't say it. I might strike you on camera
Strike me on
for
camera.
the world to see.
We'll get kicked off of, of Twitch.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
The best isekai ever done.
You know this. I'm gonna give you a couple more seconds.
I can't think.
Hey, what's our podcast named after?
Oh yeah, Page Master.
Page Master. The best isekai
Page
ever
Master.
done.
Yeah.
3 isekai in 1.
Honestly, I would have never said Page Master. I just would not have.
Bro, that's the whole reason we're named Storms and Stories is the Page Master.
Yeah, 100% is why, but I never would have said isekai because.
It is an isekai.
But it is, yeah.
It is 100% an isekai. But yes, I like the, this person gets sucked into our world again because they're part of some, honestly, what is just a sick and twisted game.
Yeah, yeah. How,
Like, I
poor
love
dude,
that.
right? Like,
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, like he doesn't even get a say in this. He can
But
just
also-
easily survive it.
yeah. But also, like, what did he do to get cursed
That is
into the
interesting.
book, right?
That is
So,
interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't have any like.
my thing.
Oh
my
yeah,
thing.
your one thing.
So, going back to my third, overall note about be more descriptive. Ivy. We heard Ivy's dreads were colorful. That's what we got. What did I type? I know they're colorful, but spin it. Tell me about them. You described to me the colorfulness of those dreads by using descriptors. It's gonna bring even that small character to life in a big way. And it was actually Ivy that made me go, you know what? That's what I've been thinking about reading all these.
Yeah.
Needing more descriptors. Because that's a character that immediately jumps off the page at you a little bit, but would have burst off the page with a little bit more description.
Yeah.
And that's my example of giving more description sometimes. I know I already gave one with the bangs, but Ivy, the character of Ivy, is really what made me think about it.
Yeah.
Because I could completely envision her and how she put her locks up in a bun, almost in a bun. I could see it, but I was like, I can't see the color.
Yeah, but it's there, right?
Yeah, and I wanted to be able to envision the color.
Yeah.
Because honestly, her hair sounded gorgeous, but I wanted to see in my mind's eye just how gorgeous that the author was thinking.
Awesome.
She's like, write this down. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound critical because that's not what I'm trying to do.
No, look, at this point, we're invested. We just want to see you succeed. So,
You know what is something I enjoyed about all three, but Roman is a good, and I didn't even take this as a note, it's just in here at this point, that Roman is a good example of girl bossing.
yeah.
This poor woman spends all of her fucking money until the government shuts down her shit, and then Roman's like, well, I have money. And she's like, what the fuck do you mean? Yeah, I'm dead broke now.
Yeah.
What do you mean you have money? He's like, I got all this. Just a bag full of gold. Like, bro.
Yeah, but I guess from his perspective, though, yes, she was right in that scenario. But from his perspective, he's like, people keep trying to steal all my money. Every time I come out here, they just want all my money.
You're not wrong, but she got so mad at him, deservedly.
Yeah.
Deservedly. She was 100% in the right
Yeah.
with how angry she got, but she was like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I do actually have a fourth point. This one's very small, and talking about his money made me think about that. The manager, the manager talking, that could have just been off screen. Like the guy's like, oh, I'll call the manager, and then next scene, room.
Yeah.
But again, that's not critical. It's not nitpick. That's just how I personally would have maybe done that one, because it would have driven the same exact point home.
Yeah.
And then you could have not even put a number on how much gold how much or how little gold he actually shelled out for that room. Because now in my eye, he spent 11 gold pieces on a hotel room.
Okay.
And, you know, maybe he didn't.
Yeah, so I think there's interest. So the interesting thing there for me was this guy's getting ready to say, like, we don't deal in gold here, right? This is the modern, you know, America. And
You're doing great. Like, honestly, completely above board. I absolutely love these, and I want to read more.
yeah.
These are... I think that was just a nitpick,
think,
for lack
yeah,
of a better term.
I don't know
I
if-
phrased what it was poorly.
No, I understand what you're saying. I just don't know. It didn't take anything away from the story, including it. And that's
Yeah.
usually how I determine if something is bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're reading something and you get pulled away from the story, that is not what you want.
Yeah, no.
And in this case, it didn't do that. And so
None
I
of
was
this stuff is bad
Yeah.
by any means.
Yeah.
My thoughts are just like in my mind's eye, or not mind's eye, in my eye, or in my mind. Fuck, I've lost that term. Doesn't matter. It could elevate it. Because
Yeah.
you know, because sometimes less is more.
Well,
Sometimes more is more.
but also, is the guy going to be like, yeah, I can do that? I guess you said he was going to talk to his manager. I
Yeah.
understand. Keep that part. I don't
Yeah.
know. I liked including the number of gold because it kind of put, and he's got hundreds more, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was the important part that was included there.
Yeah.
And then it's like, we find out that, like, at the end of the day, we all know this, but we find out that even today, people are willing to, like, trade in gold.
Yeah.
You know, if you.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting way to say how he's going to succeed with what his resources are.
You know, we were talking earlier about how in some of these scenes, in these stories, like the suddenness of something happening was really cool.
Yeah.
Roman has a good example of that too. Not long after he comes out of that book, that whole ass hotel room is shot to shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rick.
Yeah. I'll
And
say.
you're like, what the fuck? What?
And it's told from from Ivy's.
No, Ivy was her friend.
Right. Okay.
if I
Violet.
remember-
Is it Violet?
If I'm remembering correctly, it's Athena,
Luna.
Luna.
And Violet, I think.
Is it Violet? I don't know.
Violet.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And we're
You know,
here.
I think it is why I can't remember names. I got a new neighbor today,
Yeah.
and he introduced himself to us, and I've been like driving his name.
So you
home.
don't have to say, what's your name again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because he's an older dude. Like,
Yeah.
You know, like retired older.
Yeah.
Like 20-something years in the same job, retired.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no, yeah, I get what you're saying.
yeah.
What I was saying was though is I know we're seeing a lot of it from and this is gonna be my only like point that you touched on with the description the descriptors. We're hearing it from Violet's perspective in Roman, and she's like in the fetal position, right?
Yeah.
So she's not looking around to see what's going on around her.
Yeah.
But what I would have liked to see, or I guess read more about, was like, what does the room look like now? Who's shooting? And then like,
Actually, I will agree on what's the room look like as they're leaving, but who's shooting? Absolutely not. I loved that we had no idea what the fuck was going on.
well, but the
because we get
reason.
an explanation.
Okay.
We do get an explanation, like when Roman's telling Luna, not Luna, I'm sorry, Violet about the games and the keys
Yeah, the
and
police
her
and-
role. That's when we find out who did it, why they did it, and I liked that.
No, but the part I was missing is, well, and maybe this is my fault for assuming something.
Yeah.
That I was assuming that there would have been some casualty of some sort if there's going to be like a battle here.
I don't think so, because with how Roman described how all this works and the levels it goes to, I think there's a level of precision.
Yeah. Oh,
Especially
yeah,
by this
okay.
point, because I don't think Roman's the only one. Because I'm pretty sure they talked about the White Witches having multiple of these books.
Well, yeah, there's 2 books, right?
Yeah.
And
So you
yeah.
know, at this point, the precision
Yeah.
of these strikes. I mean, and you know it has to be a precision strike because it happened so fast.
Yeah,
Like
that
they
was
were
quick.
on
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't think there would have been casualties, because they would have been like, nope, this one right here. You know how lines of fire work. We were both infantrymen.
Yeah,
They would have set up specific sectors of fire.
Did I just miss then where? It's very possible that I just missed a piece.
Then what piece do you think you missed?
The like what did the book have enough action? Yeah.
Yes. The only one that was, for lack of a term, lacking in action was The Last Emperor of Darkness. That's because there didn't need action. Because
Yeah.
like the bit of story that is there, action would have taken away. Because that was about the people and them, really figuring out who they are and what they are to each other. And action just would have been a bland part in the story. But for Broken Moon, for Broken Moon and Roman, where the action was a huge set piece, there was definitely enough action.
Yeah.
Because it also sets you up for more intense action later, which was really well done.
Yeah. So
Are you trying to figure it out?
yeah, the part where they're having the conversation. He's like, the police will be here in 5 minutes, and then it's he throws a sword. She ducks to the ground. She stays down. He says, "Stay down." There's a massive amount of hammer gunshots as I hear the shattering sound of glass breaking. Either it's and when I read this originally, I was thinking people were shooting into the room from the doorway through the glass, right?
Oh, I assumed they were shooting through the window.
Through the window. So yeah, so that was that.
So
made
is it
it-
you think?
Yeah,
It happens, and it happened to me too.
Yeah.
With other things, like with the how many times you've been there. That was a me thing.
yeah. So, I guess kind of to wrap it up, like all around. I mean, right?
I'm trying to. Nope.
You have something?
Nope. Yes.
Okay.
Touch these fucking cliffhangers.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you mean this man eats the key and sets on fire, and he says you don't want to be near me, and he starts changing, and I get nothing else? What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
How do you? Why is that the end?
Like, I need more. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
Because this isn't his first rodeo doing this.
What is he?
Yes, what? Look at the big LOLs. Like, I mean, honestly, your cliffhanger game is on point for sure. I love that.
And honestly, I think that is what makes the kind of mini stories work.
Yes, like because I like being a kid, like reading like the little campfire ghost stories, and almost all of them end on a weird cliffhanger. Not as well done as this, but they're for children.
Yeah.
But like sometimes having a cliffhanger ending is good.
Yeah.
This just makes me really, really want more because
Well,
I know there is.
Well, now we
There's events that are happening. We got the whole game.
Oh yeah,
We got
because
what's up with James? Who kidnapped him? Where is he?
yeah,
Like,
and what are they gonna do to him, right? And then Luna, like,
yeah, because apparently Luna's important to killing James somehow.
or
Yeah, because it's the werewolves that are after Luna.
to cure themselves.
Oh, I thought it was to prevent anybody from being cured so they could fight the vampires.
We'll find out.
See, this is why when I said that this subverted the expectations when I realized there was like a vampire werewolf war, this is why. Because there's like what's cool now I'm like cool, why is there the war? What are the motives? What's happening?
Yeah.
When in general media
It's just because.
vampires ruled werewolves, they broke free. This is specifically Underworld, I believe.
Yeah.
And now they've been at war. But there's always some contrite, silly reason that doesn't make any real sense because somebody loved it's generally this werewolf and this vampire loved each other, but the vampire king was like one of the fathers, or the werewolf king was the father. They didn't like it. War.
Yeah, well, you know what I found about Underworld specifically, or I guess really any time that the werewolves and vampires are not more evenly matched is struggling for me, because werewolves can move during the daytime.
Yes.
so they can, and they generally have some form of their strength during the daytime.
I mean, almost in all werewolf media, when it's werewolves that can change at will like that, they're still much stronger. They're much faster. They're more durable at all times.
Yeah. Hi, Shadow Legion.
Yeah. How we doing, Shadow? You're catching us as we're finishing reviewing some stuff. Miss Kristen here in the chat, we just reviewed her 3 short stories that she wrote, and we absolutely loved them. So if you're able to, I would read them.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, there's some growing pains, but they're great.
Stories are great.
Yeah, they are great. What are you doing? Remember, we gotta get better at chat now.
Yeah, we're bad at
now that
chat.
people are talking to us. We can't just yap at each other the whole time.
It's true. We could, though.
We are very, very good at it. So, yeah. To wrap up the reviews,
Yeah.
I think watching writing streams.
Hey, that's interesting.
Is there many writing streams? Do we need to send out some
Collabs.
or collabs? I was gonna pull from the Roman short story. Do we need to send out a precise action?
Yeah, we're not ourselves writers, but we are a book club podcast where generally the series or the book we're reading right now is Carmilla, but this is our super secret episode where we are talking about Miss Kristen's short stories, like we said. It's called
her 3 short stories. The Queens
of Charm City.
Thank you. I was like, oh, I'm gonna lose it.
The Queens of Charm City. It's a set of short stories that, in some ways overlap, and there's more to come.
Hopefully. Because I'm not gonna say there is, because we don't know that, and if that's all Kristen's gonna write for him, I'm not gonna try to pressure her to write more.
She's said that she's working on the second book already.
Yeah, but that's
No, we don't want to put expectations out. I get what you're saying.
for the specific ones we just read.
Yeah.
I am. I can't say impatiently, because that's not the right word, but I am definitely ready for what comes next, whether it's more of what we have or something new. I am definitely ready for it.
Yeah, Kristen,
for sure.
Kristen, are you okay if we share in the chat the Wattpad link and then also include it in the video description when we post fully on YouTube?
Yeah, because we'll 100% do that if you want us to. Because I enjoyed the book. I swear to God, I keep feeling like one of my cats is missing my leg, but every time I look down, there's no cat.
A cat just walked by.
Was it Gidget?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you that.
What color was the cat?
I just saw a shadow.
Oh, I was like, what do you mean? Gidget's looks like a dish rag, and Quincy's a black cat.
Yeah, no, just a shadow.
Was there heavy footfalls like a dinosaur walking?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so it wasn't Quincy. My sweet baby boy. Got a lot of cats around here. I love them all. Going to get the link.
Yeah, getting the link.
I bet you we look super bright right now with the new lighting.
Yeah. I hit the wrong button because you've got me a weird keyboard.
Look, I just so happen to have a wireless keyboard, a wireless Bluetooth keyboard, and
it works.
You said a keyboard would be helpful.
It works. It's got a function key in the wrong spot. Okay, I can complain.
You're ungrateful.
I appreciate the keyboard.
20 years of ungratefulness. I'm telling your mom.
Shadow, I shared the link there for you. Feel free to follow us on
we're on
YouTube.
TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, and I'm not going to speak for Kristen. I don't know if Kristen watches on YouTube, but if she does, I'm sure that multiple stories in one.
It is 3 short stories. It took me about 45 minutes to read them, I want to say. Wattpad says it'll take you about an hour. The stories are really, really intricate. I liked them. We talked about some growing pains throughout the episode. This was a very well, this whole thing, the podcasting and streaming is new to us, but this episode was even newer because, you know, somebody said, "Oh, hey, can you read my short stories?"
Yeah.
And we were like, "I mean, yeah. Can we go live and review them and give you our completely unedited, unfiltered thoughts?"
Yeah.
And Miss Kristen here was like, in my brain, if somebody asked me that, I would have been like, "Well, this is fucking terrifying," but sure.
Yeah.
And we did, and we actually commented we're actually glad we really enjoyed them, because when we say we're gonna do something, we're gonna do it. If we didn't enjoy them, if we thought they weren't good, we'd have had to come on here on a stream and somehow not be assholes.
Yeah, and that's a struggle for one of us and not the other.
Yeah, look, man, I'm not actually an asshole.
Oh, I was talking about me. So
Okay, I'll asshole you any day of the week, bud.
I didn't know it was a competition.
I'm gonna tell your wife.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna tattle to. Like, I realize it's your mom, but your wife would be much scarier for you.
It's true. It's true.
Don't tell Brittany, she'll hit me. My wife does not beat me, I promise. That made it sound worse, actually. Shadow, a bit more. We've been best friends for like 20 years. Actually,
Yeah.
over 20 years now.
I can't do math.
No, it was like 20 years in a couple months.
Yeah, it'll be 20
It's
years.
20 years sometime this year.
Yeah, it'll
So
be
it's
20 years in August. It was high school, so it'll
Yeah.
be 20 years in August.
Yeah, and we love to read. We're huge nerds.
Yeah.
And he looked at me one day and was like, "Hey, you want to do a book club podcast?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." So we're also on Goodreads because we have a Goodreads accounts for what we want to read.
Yeah.
And every book we read on this live stream podcast thing that we're doing, because every stream gets uploaded as a podcast too, completely unedited.
To Spotify and almost everywhere else.
We're fighting with Apple right now.
Yeah, we're having an issue with Apple.
For some reason, Apple won't let us sign in. We've reached out. But, you know, so we read a couple chapters a week and come on here and talk about them, and then we'll give them, instead of stars, storm clouds, 1 out of 5 storm clouds.
Yep.
We like to read.
Yeah, and the I think we still haven't 100% figured this out, but I think the length of the book is going to have to determine how many chapters we read.
Not just the length, but like how the book is written. Because the example I keep coming back to, we're reading Carmilla right now. Very short book, and as we've learned, very easy to read. But Dracula is also on our list. Much longer, much harder to read.
Yeah, but here's the thing I keep coming back to is doing Carmilla. We just did chapter 4, we did episode 4,
And we're halfway through the book.
Yeah, chapter 8 is what we just finished. We're doing 1 episode a week right now. 4 weeks, you know, is a long time to listen to 2 people talk about one book.
Single book. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've still got, like, you know, at least
Well, that's what our secret chapter episodes like this are for.
yeah.
To help break that up. Because I'm going to challenge you. Like, if you come at me and say, like, when we sit down to read Dracula and go, "Hey, let's do 4 chapters a week," I will assault you.
Well, and I think there's room to maybe Carmilla's different because Carmilla is new to both of us.
Very.
And also, while it has like a cult following in you know, vampire media or like fan bases, it's not as well known as Dracula.
True.
Or, you know,
Frankenstein,
right? Monster movies. So
And monster novels, because the novel Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, you know, Mary Shelley is the creator of sci-fi.
Yeah, so-
and if anybody tells me otherwise, this will be the 3rd time I will assault them.
okay.
Well, because they always try and attribute that to a man, and I'm like, no, Mary Shelley, the fucking genius who wrote this book on a bet
Yeah.
in like a couple weeks, and it's good. It's spawned so many things. I am getting on a rant. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop.
So the point I was making is that if we
Angry.
is if we, you know,
I fucked you up.
oh yeah, okay. So Carmilla is new, right? So we're
Carmilla's
spinning.
old.
Well, it's
Oh,
new to us, yeah. we're spending a lot of time in the episodes kind of really digging into like all of the nuances. And for a more modern book, or even Dracula, something that a lot of people have read, we wouldn't need to focus that deep on.
Yes.
Let me finish the thought.
Finish the thought. We're learning. We're learning.
We wouldn't need to focus that deeply on every nuance, right? Like
Yeah.
we can cover more ground by focusing on the more important details. So
Yes. Yeah. Pacing. Overall, yes. With work on like the conversations and some descriptors, that in my view will completely even out the pacing.
I don't have any complaints about the pacing.
Yeah.
I really like everything. The pacing seemed natural, right? Mm-hmm. Like there wasn't anything that was like an extended scene just because.
I think there was one pacing scene, which again with a little bit more descriptor, where it jumped and it kind of caught me off guard. I'm trying to remember where it is. You know what? I'm just gonna reread them, and if you join our Discord, if you have Discord, or shoot us an email or something, I will like specifically tell you which one I'm thinking of in a day or so.
Okay.
Because like there was one like scene change that was jarring, and I don't think it was meant to be. I think it was pure coincidence that it was jarring.
There was a section in the book that had a random like ad in it,
I think that's Wattpad.
and if you
Did the ad fuck you up?
and if you didn't go past the ad, because there was more to read.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know if that maybe
I don't know,
that
'cause
caught you.
I was sitting at my desk and I was reading it on my computer.
Okay.
So like,
maybe
it
there wasn't
way
an ad in
different.
the way. Yeah.
There was ads like on the page, but fucking every website you go to now has.
Don't get me started.
Yeah, we will rant on that. And then yeah, the only other thing about us specifically is we yap at each other. We're yappers, but that's what comes with knowing each other for so long. Yeah. No. Do you want to rate them storm clouds? Do you want to do out of 5 or out of 10?
Do we want to do Storm Clouds now? I mean, I guess I'll do it this way. Kristen, is your second book a continuation of the stories we have so far?
Oh yeah, because the answer to that would be
Yeah.
how we rate it for
Yeah.
sure. That makes a lot of sense. So I'm glad our brain cell is bouncing the right way right now.
Yeah, because if they're not a continuation, then they are a continuation. Perfect. So then I think what we can do is with what we have so far,
Yeah.
I say max is 3 storm clouds, and we can do it that way.
You know what, Kristen? Do you think that makes sense? Like, since we're only rating what we have and we're gonna get more, just drop the criteria some instead of out of 5, just out of 3, and then we can. You know,
Yeah.
that number will fluctuate in the 5 range once we have more.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. The brain cell was definitely over there, not here. I'm sorry I'm not wearing my match hat.
That's okay.
I've been wearing this all day, so my hair looks like crap. I didn't want to take it off.
Fair.
I went hiking today, so
Yeah.
a little bit of sweat.
Staying busy.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to. Got to be busy enough for the both of us.
Yeah, I told you I found like all the fishing spots down there by the river.
Yeah. So I think I'll go first then.
Okay.
Out of 3 storm clouds. Mm-hmm. Overall story, because I really love the story a lot, like everything that we've talked about already.
Yeah.
And then the couple of things we talked about with the writing itself, I would say 2 storm clouds.
2?
Yeah.
I think I want to give it all 2.5. Storm
Yeah,
clouds,
okay.
like, just to be frank.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, we talked a lot about what can be worked on, but just overall everything. I think I have to go with the 2.5.
Yeah.
Because book 2, Broken Moon, literally made my jaw drop.
Mm-hmm.
That's just fucking big in and of itself.
Yeah.
The excellent cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have to give it a 2.5 out of the 3, man.
Okay.
Just, we're pretty close there, but
Yeah. So there we have it.
you're wrong.
Kristen, thanks for coming out and listening to us talk about your writings. It was
This is our longest episode, by the way.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I had every intention. I really thought this was going to be shorter.
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm also glad it wasn't. And I'm
4
looking
chapters! 4! Yes!
I'm looking forward to the
She's got
4
some
chapters.
work done already! Woo! I'm excited. Like, for real, man.
Yeah, again, thanks for coming out and listening to us, to all the listeners and chatters out there. Come back and see us if you like what we do, which is just talking about writing and books and hanging out. It's our favorite thing to do. And
Yep. Everybody follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and apparently now we have a Discord, so we will get that going.
Yeah.
Jump in our Discord.
And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to smash that like button, right? That's what.
No, it's smash that bell.
Oh, right. Okay.
I even had to ask you how they say it, and you
I
told
don't-
me, and then you fucked it up.
I forgot.
You took my joke, and you ruined it.
I did. It's okay. That's what I do. I ruin things. No, I'm just kidding.
How?
You know.
Married forever. Y'all have a great night. Kristen, again, thank you so much, and we hope to catch you again. Our next episode and our next live will be Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. The date. Will I don't know what date
Kind
it
of
is.
important, huh?
Yeah. Wednesday, the 23rd of April.
Wednesday, the 23rd of April at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. You'll catch us here on Twitch or on YouTube if you're watching there.
And